Fairline Targa 29 vs Sealine S28, 1998. It's caught here. If you like my content and feel able to, please do like it or follow my blogs, Spotify and YouTube channels or Facebook channel. It would mean and help an awful lot. Thank you. https://korg9000.wordpress.com/ Fairline Targa 29 vs Sealine S28, 1998. Sports cruisers for the gentleman who thinks the M25 is far too crowded. There are two sorts of people who buy sports cruisers. The first simply wants somewhere pleasant to spend weekends afloat, perhaps with a spot of fishing, a glass of something chilled, and the occasional overnight stay. The second wants everyone in the marina to know they've arrived before they've even tied up. Preferably while producing a noise somewhere between a Lancaster bomber and Concorde. Today's contenders happily cater for both. The Fairline Targa 29 and the Sealine S28 occupy much the same corner of the British boating market. Both promise genuine offshore capability, stylish accommodation, enough performance to embarrass many smaller speedboats, and just enough luxury to convince your better half that boating isn't merely an excuse for expensive diesel bills. Both are proudly British. Both are built with North Sea conditions firmly in mind. And both make you wonder why anyone would voluntarily queue on the M5 during a bank holiday. So which deserves a berth in your marina? Styling. The Fairline immediately looks like the more expensive machine. Fairline has built its reputation on producing boats with unmistakably continental flair without sacrificing British practicality. The Targa 29 is sleek, low and purposeful. Its curved windscreen, sweeping radar arch and elegant sheer line still look modern nearly 30 years later. It has the sort of profile that encourages neighboring owners to wander over while pretending they are only looking for the harbour master. The Sealine S28 takes a slightly different approach. It isn't ugly, far from it, but it's more functional. Higher topsides provide extra accommodation below, and the styling favors usable space over Italian-inspired glamour. Think Savile Row versus Marks and Spencer. Both will get you dressed, but one certainly turns more heads. Winner, Fairline Targa 29. Cockpit. This is where weekends are won and lost. The Fairline offers an excellent helm position. Visibility is first class, all instruments fall neatly to hand, and the seating arrangement encourages spirited driving. Behind the helm lies generous seating surrounding a removable cockpit table. It's an ideal place to enjoy lunch while explaining to everyone how difficult it was overtaking that Princess 286 on the way in. The Sealine fights back with sheer cleverness. Its cockpit feels noticeably larger thanks to thoughtful design. Seating is flexible, access around the boat is easier, and there's simply more room for guests. If your boating usually involves 4 adults and several enthusiastic children armed with sticky ice creams, the Sealine begins making rather a lot of sense. Winner, Sealine S28. Accommodation. Drop below decks and both boats reveal why sports cruisers became so popular during the 1990s. The Fairline presents beautifully finished cherry wood cabinetry, quality upholstery and excellent craftsmanship. Everything feels solid. Cupboards close with reassuring precision rather than enthusiastic rattling. The forward double berth converts neatly into a dinette, while the aft cabin provides another proper double berth rather than something resembling an oversized luggage rack. The galley includes a cooker, sink and refrigerator, perfect for producing bacon sandwiches that somehow taste infinitely better because they are cooked afloat. The Sealine counters with something rather remarkable. Thanks to its beam and clever interior packaging, it genuinely feels bigger inside than its dimensions suggest. Headroom is excellent, storage is plentiful, and the aft cabin is especially generous. Families will appreciate the additional elbow room, while couples planning longer cruises will welcome the extra practicality. The finish isn't quite as luxurious as the Fairline's, but it's still very good indeed. Winner, Sealine S28. Performance. Most examples sold in Britain were fitted with twin diesel engines. Typical Fairline installations included twin Volvo Penta AD31 diesels producing around 130 horsepower each, although some boats received larger KAD32 or petrol V8 options. The Sealine generally carried similar Volvo Penta diesel installations. With around 260 horsepower available, both boats comfortably exceed 30 knots in favorable conditions. The Fairline usually enjoys a slight advantage. Expect around top speed, 33-35 knots. Comfortable cruising, 24-27 knots. The Sealine generally records top speed, 31-33 knots. Comfortable cruising, 22-25 knots. Neither is especially economical. At cruising speed you'll become well acquainted with the Marina fuel berth, although compared with twin petrol V8s they remain positively frugal. One quickly discovers that diesel engines possess a remarkable ability to convert money into pleasant weekends. Handling. This is where Fairline earns its reputation. The hull inspires confidence from the moment the throttles are advanced. It slices through moderate chop without fuss, corners cleanly, remains predictable, and rarely feels unsettled. Even when conditions deteriorate, the Targa encourages you to press on. It behaves like a grand touring sports car. The Sealine is no slouch, however. Its ride is comfortable and secure, but it favors stability over outright sporting ability. Steering feels slightly lighter and the hull displays a little more movement in rougher water. For most owners that's entirely acceptable because they are more interested in arriving relaxed than pretending they are competing in Cows Week. Winner, Fairline Targa 29. Build quality. Both manufacturers enjoyed enviable reputations during the late 1990s. Fairline perhaps edges ahead. The gel coat finish is excellent, locker lids fit beautifully, stainless steel fittings remain impressive decades later, and the entire boat exudes quality. Open enough lockers and you'll eventually find yourself muttering, "They certainly don't build them like this anymore." Sealine isn't far behind. Construction is robust, systems are sensibly laid out, and maintenance access is often superior. Indeed, engineers frequently praise Sealine's practical thinking. If you're the sort who changes impellers voluntarily on Sunday afternoons, you'll appreciate that. Winner, Fairline Targa 29. Ownership. Neither boat should frighten experienced owners. Annual servicing of twin diesels isn't cheap, anti-fouling is a yearly ritual, and marina fees continue their relentless assault on your wallet. As someone once observed, boating is rather like standing in a cold shower tearing up 20-pound notes. Still, there are worse hobbies. Both boats retain their value remarkably well, particularly examples with comprehensive service histories and tidy interiors. Watch carefully for neglected engines, damp upholstery, worn cockpit canopies and evidence of water ingress around deck fittings. None are unusual on boats approaching 30 years old. Fortunately, both Fairline and Sealine built them properly in the first place. Which should you buy? The answer depends entirely on what sort of skipper you are. If your weekends revolve around entertaining friends, extended cruising and maximum accommodation from under 30 feet, the Sealine S28 is difficult to ignore. It offers exceptional practicality, clever design and genuine comfort for surprisingly sensible money. However, if boating stirs something emotional inside you, if you enjoy beautifully finished machinery, appreciate crisp handling and occasionally glance backwards simply because your own boat looks magnificent, then the Fairline Targa 29 is worth every extra pound. It possesses something slightly harder to define: character. That's what separates good boats from memorable ones. The Fairline feels special every time you step aboard. The Sealine simply gets on with the job extremely well. There's nothing wrong with either philosophy. Verdict: Fairline Targa 29. 5/5. Pros: superb build quality, excellent handling, timeless styling, premium finish, strong resale values. Cons: less interior space, higher purchase price, cockpit slightly tighter. Sealine S28. 4.5/5. Pros: spacious accommodation, excellent value, practical layout, comfortable cruising, easy ownership. Cons: less sporting handling, interior finish not quite as luxurious, styling a little more conservative. Final thoughts: in the late 1990s British sports cruiser market, these two represented the best of homegrown boat building. The Sealine S28 appealed to the head with its space, practicality and value, while the Fairline Targa 29 appealed to the heart with its polish, poise and unmistakable sense of occasion. If you were buying with a calculator, you'd probably leave the marina in the Sealine. If you were buying with a grin on your face, the Fairline's keys would already be in your pocket. After all, life is too short to spend every sunny weekend looking at the M25 when you could be watching it from the Thames instead. It's caught here. If you like my content and feel able to, please do like it or follow my blogs, Spotify and YouTube channels or Facebook channel. It would mean and help an awful lot. Thank you. https://korg9000.wordpress.com/. Thank you for listening.